Welcome back to podcast number 3, I think it is, George. The third video podcast we're doing. Today it's going to be an introductory tutorial on the calendar section in the Bio one-on-one partnering system. My name is Joe Colangelo, and with me as always is George McDougall. George, how's it going today?
Joe, it's going very well. We have close to 1,300 companies already within the one-on-one partnering system, as well as a few more, about 400, that will have access within the next couple days.
Yeah, partnering's really heating up, George, and as you can see, we're here again in the Bio dashboard. We're going to the calendar section today. This is a new section that we've added this year. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the new calendar section and where our users can find the old calendar section?
Sure, Joe. Well, before I do that, I'd just like to say that this is kind of step number 2 after filling out your company profile. Your next important step in terms of optimizing your experience is to set your availability in the calendar section. So as you see here, this is the new calendar. There are lots of updated features. And just to make a quick rewind, if you do want to see the system that we used last year, you just hit that edit availability link right there, and that'll bring you to the old screen. This, of course, has all the same functionalities. However, you won't be able to make notes or do some of the other things that we're going to touch now in the new calendar section.
All right, as George alluded to, the notes field is a new option this year. There's a couple different ways you can make notes. The first is obviously add note, and then picking the time period you would like to enter your meeting or your note into. The second is just to click on anywhere in the open field. So anywhere really in the calendar section, it'll highlight a half an hour time slot. Let's say from 10 to 12, I'm going to be in a panel session. I then save it, and it creates an Outlook-like orb, if you will, and I can just drag this longer and shorter, or drag this if, let's say, a lunch, for example, gets moved. Everything will update, and if something gets canceled, I just click on the remove button. It'll prompt me to ask me if I really want to remove it, and then I will remove it. And this offers quite a lot of additional functionality for users to go in and enter their own events, not just within the business forum, but outside of the business forum. And maybe, George, if you want to talk to us a little bit about what these checkboxes on the side mean. I saw we had radio buttons previously. What do these checkboxes mean?
Right. We've essentially gotten rid of the 2 radio dials, and now you're just putting in what times you are available and would like to participate in one-on-one partnering meetings. And an important side note here is that, Joe, you referenced the notes, and the notes are separate from the meetings that we schedule. So therefore, your notes are helpful tips for you to kind of optimize your day that you're going to have at the conference, but those are not actual meetings that are scheduled by Bio and will be taking place with other members. Those are not partnering meetings. We go ahead and schedule those partnering meetings, and they will be shown separately with a different shade, a different color on the right side of the screen.
Yeah, that's a good point, George. So they're all going to appear on the right side of the screen, and as you can see, we had 2 fake events that we've inputted here. That, again, I have all the additional functionality. I can extend the length of time. I can minimize each. I can move them independent of one another. But now if I go here and I try to enter an additional meeting, it's telling me that I can only enter 2 events. So my limit is going to be 2 in addition to the Bio's one-on-one meeting if I have a meeting scheduled for that time through the partnering system. Is that correct, George?
Right, that's correct. But you would only have a meeting scheduled during that time if you've selected that you are available in those checkboxes on the left-hand side of the screen.
So I have to have, so if I check these boxes, that means that I am available and I am willing to meet, and I am willing to put my meeting with you and my lunch with Kelly aside to do a one-on-one partnering meeting with another member of the business forum. Is that correct?
That's correct, Joe, and that's a very good point because if you were to mark yourself as available and then you were to have a lunch meeting set up with Kelly and that's what you plan on doing, then you should really uncheck yourself from that left side of the screen to say essentially that you're busy during that time.
So as I scroll up toward the top here from it looks like the 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. morning hour, I noticed that this part of the calendar right here is white. It's not yellow as it appears on my browser, and also that there are no check boxes. Can you tell me why?
Yeah, the reason for that is that there won't be any partnering meetings taking place during those times. The only times where there will be partnering meetings taking place are in the yellow shaded areas.
But I can still enter events, it looks like, as I just move my events up here. So this is more of just my personal calendar now and not the Bio one-on-one calendar at this point. So if I want to change, let's say lunch with Kelly, let's say I want to get rid of that and I want to change it to going to the gym, I can enter this here, and this will not affect my one-on-one schedule.
That's exactly right. And just as you noted, perhaps maybe you'd want to go to breakfast with some of your colleagues and talk about how the day is going to go and how you're going to approach the day. So that's just a way for you to make a personal note there. And then, of course, you can print out this schedule, which includes your notes, up in the top corner at the print preview screen. And then one other important note is that if you did want to see only only your partnering meetings and not your notes, you can print out just your partnering schedule by going to the company or delegate schedule down on the left-hand side.
So if you notice this schedule, there are no meetings, obviously, because no meetings have been scheduled yet in 2010. But once they are, they will appear here under my delegate schedule. And then if I go to company schedule, I will see all of the meetings for not only myself but also my colleagues, which gets us back to the calendar section. As you can see, that we have this neat little drop-down box. So for all you admins out there who are interested in managing a lot of your colleagues' calendars, this is the box where you're going to be able to do that from. So now I can instantly go from my calendar, and I'm going to switch it over to George's calendar. And you can see everything is gone from the morning session on Tuesday because now I'm in George's calendar. And if I go back to my calendar, everything that was previously there is still there and retained. All right, George, now let's come to finish up here on the calendar section. Just let us know the last couple things that our users are going to be interested in regarding, I guess, probably the save feature and some of the other things.
Right, yeah, just a few important points. Whenever you make any edits to your schedule or your availability, it's important just to hit the save button just to ensure that those settings are saved. And of course, then another important note is that the calendar and the edit availability do function together in unison. So if you were to update your availability in the edit availability screen and you were to move over to the calendar, that would still show in the calendar screen as well. So those two different screens work together.
Great, thanks, George. And as you can see, we just tested it out right here. Right now, we changed the last two time slots from busy by unchecking them. And again, as George mentioned, because he is Genius George, the system does work as intended. Let us know, as always, if you have any questions. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to read your comments on the blog. Once again, you can reach us at blogs.bio.org/bio1on1partnering.com or on our Twitter handle, which is @bio1on1. Thanks a lot. We'll see you guys next time.